Well, today's episode, we're going to review two wrestling shows, one by WWE's 205 Live, the other one, New Japan Strong for the LA Dojo Showcase. However, I got two interesting topics that I feel that needs to be on this episode to talk about. One is the partnership between WWE and MLW that are in current talks right now, but also a tweet that caught my attention by Mick Foley that involves an all-female brand within WWE. So all of that will be reviewed, discussed, and talk about on this episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone. All things that it's pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. Now, let's review right now 205 Live from WWE. Only two matches that they put out on this one. But however, what I liked about this one, it looks like they're taking things a little more serious. As you know, in recent months in the storylines they've been building, this was becoming a huge war between the 205 originals versus the 205 newbies. Basically, the new people who come to 205 Live to make a name for themselves. But however, guys like Ari Daivari and Tony Nese believe that their spots are being threatened by the newbies. Now, these are the last two original members of 205 Live that never left whatsoever. These are guys that we never seen at Raw or SmackDown. We have seen them on NXT on certain occasions, but that's how it works. But however, the first match that opened up was Jake Atlas teaming once again with August Gray, taking on Bollywood Boys. Now, what I like about this match, now they're taking things a little serious with this brand. Reason is, as you know, I did mention the rivalry between the 205 originals and the 205 newbies is now taken seriously. But what I did like about this match, they're taking things seriously. Now, the Bollywood Boys, I have seen them many times. They have won some matches, but however, I feel that they're being overlooked in some ways because they're a fun group. But however, I think they're keeping up with the story about guys like August Gray, who is trying to make a name for themselves to surpass the 205 originals. The match was great in every aspect that I liked. But as you know, the way this match has proceeded in the favor of Atlas and Gray, it shows like, yes, these are guys who definitely will be huge stars, even in the 205 division. But however, they know for a fact they have to deal with the 205 originals. I'm talking about Tony Nese and of course Ari Daivari. But they were set to be in the next match against Everrise. Now, much like Everrise, they always get on people's nerves, saying that Everrise rules. This match, when I viewed it, as you guys don't know, I viewed, okay, Nese and Daivari are going to win this match. But no, this was a huge upset. I did not expect Everrise to pick up the victory. I always looked at them, these are the guys who are going to lose their matches. But no, now I think they're taking them seriously. As you know, Everrise in previous times have made plays like calling out other tag teams, like Grizzled Young Veterans, Legato, or whoever in their minds they believe, you guys don't rule, that type of thing. But seeing them pulling up an upset against Nese and Daivari, that is huge. I don't know where they're going to go, but I would love to see where they're going to go. If they do have a chance to win a chance for the NXT tag team titles, or hopefully just put a cruiserweight tag team titles. WCW did the same thing in their final year before they were bought off by WWE. If you guys know that, if you guys didn't know that, look it up. I'm telling you the truth. They did that, and I think Rey Mysterio was the first and only with his tag team partner. I don't remember, was it Billy Kidman? But yeah. So that's pretty much it. What happened in 205 Live. So let's review New Japan Strong for the LA Dojo Showcase. Alright, so this latest New Japan Strong event is called LA Dojo Showcase. Now, if you guys don't know what that means, they're showcasing wrestling matches from the Young Lions themselves. Now, I always hear the word showcase in every aspect. If you guys don't know what I'm referring to, if you guys know this, those who follow my channel, in earlier episodes or earlier videos that I posted on this channel, I attended the Level Up Pro Wrestling Academy's showcase, as they call it, Level Up Showcase. These are events where comes from a wrestling school run by B-Boy, who I became good friends with now, and I talked to many of the wrestlers there. These are wrestlers who were trained there, and they're learning some things to become good wrestlers, like basics and all that other stuff. They always have that. And recently I saw 2 showcase events from other wrestling school. One of them is the Nightmare Factory by Cody, and the other, the Dusty Rhodes Wrestling Academy down in Austin, Texas. So these type of shows are good because you get to see wrestlers who are currently in training, and you get to see how far they have improved, you know. If you want an example from me, how would I know? One of the wrestlers who I follow, his name is Juan Marioli, but we call him J2, or now he goes by the Playmaker. J2 has been in the tag teams either in 6-man or 2-man, but I have seen over time how he's improved his singles competitors. There were many matches I did like that he did, and one of my favorite ones that he did is when he was facing a Party Guy. That's what I like watching Showcase, because you get to see, oh, this guy's learning. So with the Young Lions, you get to see that. Now, the first match is the DKC taking on TJP. Now, I have to say, if you guys say, but TJP is not a Young Lion. True, if you guys know that. But if you know your history or know things about TJP, he was part of the original Young Lions in LA. Yes, so you get that? You get that? He was one of the originals. That's why he helps out. You know? But that's what makes him great, to help out the LA Dojo, because he's one of the students, but he was never under Shibata's tutelage, but he actually works with him. But I have to say, the match was pretty good. DKC did prove a little bit, but he has a long ways to go. But there's been talk with him about maybe cutting his hair. I don't know how that be, but I'm assuming maybe he's considering it or thinking about it clearly, because you know how certain wrestling schools, especially when it comes to New Japan, they might tell you to do something that you may not like, but if you want to improve, then that's what you need. But I have to say, it was really good. Not the best from DKC, but he's improving a bit, you know. Next match we got is a tag team match. We have Kevin Knight and Alex Coughlin taking on Ren Narita and Fred Rouser. Now, you probably say the same thing about Fred Rouser. He's not a Young Lion, you're right. But he has helped out before. He's a local native of LA. Ren Narita, he's almost done with his excursion. So it's a perfect opportunity for Narita to showcase what he has learned while his stay with the LA Dojo. And that's what I like about it, because if you guys notice, Ren Narita, he actually was originally at the New Japan Dojo in Japan, until he made a decision after losing the Young Lions Cup to Carl Fredericks, and he asked Shibata that he wants to learn under him. But I have to say, Ren Narita has improved a lot. I think his excursion with the LA Dojo has helped him. I know he has represented them in certain aspects, but I think he's going to be great. Don't know what's next for him, but I have to say the match ended pretty well on the favor with Narita and Rosser. Rosser was the one who picked up the victory. I think he might have pinned Kevin Knight. I'm not sure. I'm kind of almost falling asleep on that. But yeah. But I like it. Now, the next match, we have Clark Connors and Carl Fredericks. Fredericks was one of the latest graduates of the LA Dojo. He has been making his name, but he's unable to pick up a victory. But this is one of those matches, like, it becomes personal, because you got Clark Connors, who's one of the fan favorites, and on the verge of graduating. So this is like putting to the test, facing a recent graduate of the LA Dojo versus someone who's on the verge. So this is one of those matches you definitely got to pay attention. Now, if you're a Clark Connor fans, you probably would assume, oh, he's gonna win it because he's the fan favorite. True, but don't forget you got the guy who graduated, and he's the winner of the Young Lions Cup. So it kind of fits in every aspect. But the match fell in the favor the Clark Connors. Even my bad. Damn alarm. Sorry about that. Okay. It fell in the favor of Carl Fredericks. He really impressed me. He picked up another win. Not as big as he do, but it was a good match. So Carl Fredericks actually won. He tried to help out Clark Connors, but he wasn't having it. He gave like a little attitude. But that's how it is. You learn from losing your matches, but you learn to get back up and try again. So, I would love to see more of the LA Dojo Showcase because it's pretty interesting to watch. If you guys are not fans, then it's okay. You don't have to watch. So I think that's it right now with New Japan Strong. So I'm going to talk the first topic right now. Okay. Early Friday morning, today is Saturday, keep in mind, Dave Meltzer reported on the Wrestling Observer that WWE are in talks with Major League Wrestling. Now, some of you are saying it's not going to happen. True, I would agree with you, but there's a reason why it's happening. Now, it's not a coincidence to me, and for those who are MLW fans, or those who watch MLW, that this reason this is happening now is because the big announcement took place that MLW are now reached a TV deal with Vice TV, which is great and huge for them. I'm very happy that that's going to happen. It would make sense. But there's reasons why this is happening. Now, let's talk about that. Why is these talks are taking place? As you know, the pandemic has put WWE in more of a halt. They had to stop doing some shows. They're not currently touring right now. That kind of makes things. But however, you should know, they currently have NXT talent that you normally don't see on TV, or they use less of a time. If you guys want a prime example, Deonna Purrazzo was amongst those people that we get rarely to see her, but eventually we haven't seen a whole lot of her. That's when she was released last year, and that kind of plays it out. And then there's Mandy Rose's ex-boyfriend. I forgot his name. He's been with the company, even training for a couple years, but he never made appearances on NXT or on any TV tapings. So the general consistent of what they're trying to do is to have the lesser NXT talent to make TV appearances at MLW. Now, some of you probably would say, but what's going to happen to the roster there? I mean, look, I don't know. But some wrestlers are currently working in other independent promotions, but these are the guys who are obligated or will love to be there. Like the Von Erichs, Jacob Fatu, and the rest of Contra. I can name a few. But I don't know. It all depends on what Court Bauer is discussing or the terms they want to make. But the reason all of this, Dave Meltzer stated that we were supposed to expect another NXT show called NXT Evolve. Now, if you guys are asking why is this important, NXT Evolve was supposed to be the other show they were going to put on Peacock because of the pandemic, because of their purchase of the wrestling promotion called Evolve. If you guys haven't heard of it, that's a pretty good promotion you should watch. And that's part of the reason all of that happened. WWE last year purchased them, and they got all the video rights and all this and that. However, they did a filming of the first pilot episode for NXT Evolve, but there hasn't been no further information. This is one of the frustrations that we're getting. Even Dave Meltzer pointed out that this is similar to what happened with ECW back in the 90s. They're trying to build like a version of like an NXT-like growing show. But they believe that with MLW, this could help many of their lesser talent NXT who haven't had any TV time to have a bigger reps in MLW. So basically, it's not like they're a lot. They want them to make appearances there, so because here's the thing. Keep in mind, let's say you're in an NXT show, okay? There's a guy, let's say this unknown guy or girl is wrestling a guy you know from, let's say, who can we put as an example? Okay, let's say this unknown person is facing Jake Atlas, and we're like, who the hell is this guy, you know? That kind of makes it like we don't even know. There's still some wrestlers that they haven't even put on televised, you know, and that's the thing, and that kind of makes sense that they want to do that. Now, recently, I have seen many people on Twitter saying, just watch, once they get the partnership, they'll buy it and destroy it. I mean, that is a possibility. You know, look, we can say ECW, when WWE purchased it, it was a disaster. It wasn't the ECW that we all know, if you guys remember ECW from the early days. And I would agree, but, I mean, MLW has some great talent, but I don't know exactly what its specifics. But if you guys know this or not, Court Bauer worked with WWE for several years, but he was the one who founded MLW back in 2002. It folded 2 years later, but he restarted it in 2017. But he did have a podcast about that, you know, he in between those years that was deactivated. But do I think this is a good idea? I say, okay, it could, but I am concerned over the fact that WWE can purchase them. Because I have to say, look, there's a lot of great talent. Because here's the thing. Right now, if you guys know this, ever since Evolve was purchased, we haven't seen a lot of the wrestlers who were signed with Evolve. A whole lot. The only ones I've been aware of is Austin Theory and Leo Ruff. Those were two wrestlers I've been fully aware that were, in fact, were part of the Evolve promotion. But I haven't seen anybody else from that. Wrestlers who I've seen that been involved are at other promotions. You know, like Tracy Williams, Fred Yehai, Wheeler Yuta, Chris Dickinson, Tracy Williams. I'm like, yeah, but I don't know why not a whole lot of the wrestlers who were part of Evolve are not being shown. That is kind of like, you know, another frustration waiting to be happen. But let's just wait and see what happens with MLW. Because I know recently a lot of fans like myself and you guys who we have criticized WWE over the years about how they don't work with other companies. That is a fact. That's because the thing is this. We cannot deny that they are the #1 wrestling promotion in the world. But recently we've been seeing the hype with AEW working with Impact Wrestling, New Japan, AAA. That is the biggest hype that we've ever seen coming from AEW. They're willing to work with others, but WWE, they haven't been in that type of situation before in years. They've been uncooperative with other promotions and all that, and it would make a whole lot of sense. But right now, this direction is being brought forward by the new new guy who's running WWE. I think he's the president. I'm not sure. His name is Nick Khan. Now, don't ask me if he's related to Tony Khan. I don't know. I don't think Tony has a brother. I think he's an only child. I'm not sure. But I'll look it up and I'll get back to you guys as soon as possible on that. But however, under this tutelage with Nick Khan, I think he wants to go take WWE a different direction. Now, the reason I say this is happening now, don't forget, Daniel Bryan even mentioned something like this before. He feels that we should work with other promotions because in his early years before working with WWE, his work with Japan, especially with Pro Wrestling Noah and a promotion in the UK, has changed him, has helped him out to develop his craft. I mean, WWE needs to do that, but we haven't. But, of course, Triple H would say never. You know, we won't know what's going to happen now. I know some of you guys who are probably saying we don't want to see WWE working with MLW or MLW seeing them because it could cause a problem. I would agree with all of you, but we'll see what happens. We'll find out more if Dave Meltzer finds any more information, I'll pick it up, and I'll find out more who this Nick Khan is, and I'll let you guys know who he is. So right now, let's move on to the tweet that actually got my attention by Mick Foley. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about is this latest tweet that happened yesterday. At the same time I found that article about WWE and talks with MLW. Is this tweet by Mick Foley that he posted out. Now, this is what he posted. You might saw it right in the beginning of this part, but I'm going to read it right here because I wrote it down for all of you guys. Dear Vince, an all-women's brand needs to happen in WWE. Unless you want AEW to beat you to the punch. Sincerely, Mick. Now, I would say there is a good idea, but however, if that's the case, if they were planning to do this in WWE, there will be some pros and cons on this one. Now, pros. What can we have in the pros if WWE decides to have an all-women's brand? Let's discuss that. Pros. Have the women that you hardly use on all three brands make appearances right there. I feel that it would give them more exposure. Even if you're planning to put them on the Peacock streaming service, that's fine. But televised, that's going to be a little different because, you know, that's the way it's been for all of us. And that's how it is. Now, the cons. I don't think it's a good idea to have the top women who are both in all of the brands. Like, for example, the champions. Why would we want them on this brand? Well, I say it would overshadow the women who deserve to make a name for themselves. So I say if for this, in the pros and cons, it would work. But if it was me, in my personal opinion, I would say just get the women who we hardly use. Give them good reps on if they want to stream this on the Peacock service. But if do I plan to have championships on this particular brand? I'm not sure, but I would definitely put that on consideration and talks with the big bosses. That's the way I would put it out. Now, when Mick Foley mentioned, unless you want AEW to beat you to the punch, not too long ago, Kenny Omega did say that he will love to have an all-women's brand within AEW. Now, if you guys know this or not, Kenny has been the guy who's been in charge of the women's division. Now, some of you probably say, doesn't normally a woman supposed to run it? I mean, we've seen that with Gail Kim. True, but Kenny has been a strong supporter of the women's wrestling for who knows how long. I think since he's been in Japan, it kind of opened his eyes to a different perspective. But I know we have been criticizing both companies on the women's division over the years, mostly with WWE, but with AEW in recent times, we have seen that. But having an all-female brand on both shows, I would say, for Kenny, I feel like this is his passion that he would love to do. But with WWE, that's going to be a little difficult. Now, you probably ask me, J-Rod, what is the difference between the brands within the companies and the all-female wrestling promotions? There's a difference with that. The brands like itself, like if WWE or AEW plan to have their own all-female brand within those companies, that's going to be under the umbrella of it, if it's WWE or AEW. Now, the all-female shows, they can do whatever they want, however they do it. Like, here in the States, we have Mission Pro Wrestling, which is sort of been revised as an all-female promotion instead of an intergender promotion. We have Shine, Shimmer. Out in Japan, we have Stardom, we have Ice Ribbon, Tokyo Yoshi Pro. I can go a few on it. In England, there's Pro Wrestling Eve, which is one of my favorite ones to watch over there. But that's the difference. Now, do I think having an all-female brand in WWE is a good idea? I say yes, but if I was whoever, to Nick Khan, whoever's the charge, I would think very hard how to proceed this. Now, if they decide, no, we're not going to do that, that's fine. But if AEW plans to do that, they better do the same thing. Try to give it some thought, see how you can make it work. But it is what it is. But I would like to say I would love to see that. It doesn't matter if it's with AEW or WWE. It won't make no difference. But we cannot deny that right now Impact Wrestling has the best stacked women's division outside of WWE. But if I see an all-female brand with both shows, that's going to be a difficult thing to watch, but it would be exciting. Now, if this comes around, I'll discuss it more. If this gets picked up sooner or later. So I think that's pretty much it for now for all of you guys. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. You know, I know it's a little different. I normally do reviews of different wrestling shows, all of this and that. Right now, stand by for more that's coming up. I got to move. I may throw in other wrestling events that I might have not catched up in wrestling in Japan and all this other stuff. Keep in mind, I will be doing more content stuff, and I will be doing a podcast thing tomorrow. If you guys haven't seen that, that is DWZ Podcast with J-Rod. So you guys can follow me either on whatever streaming service, on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, I forgot what other ones, Overcast. So you can find me anywhere, or Google me up and that, so you guys will enjoy it. There'll be more stuff to come out. As you know, I should warn you guys, if you guys, soon I'm going to be attending a wrestling show that comes up from Level Up. I am going to ask one of my friends if he wants to come down with me. I made, though, a video content on that one to showcase on that. And also a possible one coming up in June 19th with I don't know which one. There's 2 different promotions on the same day. But I'll figure that out. There'll still be more stuff to come. So, but for now, I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Ben!